Have you ever witnessed a moment that not only changed your perception of a person but also restored your faith in humanity? This is the story of how Lee Min-ho, a globally recognized South Korean actor, turned a potentially negative incident into an inspiring lesson on kindness and humility. It was a bustling Saturday afternoon at the Starfield COEX Mall in Seoul. The mall was alive with the typical weekend crowd of families, young couples, and groups of friends navigating through shops and restaurants. Among the crowd was Lee Min-ho, clad in a simple hoodie and cap, hoping to blend in and enjoy a rare day off without attracting too much attention. Accompanying him was Ji-hoon, his trusted assistant of many years, who was adept at managing both Lee's schedule and the unexpected crowds that often formed around the star. As Lee and Ji-hoon moved from one store to another, discussing upcoming projects and occasional personal musings, their presence remained mostly unnoticed, just as they had hoped. However, the calm was disrupted when a loud voice cut through the hum of voices surrounding them. "Hey! You need to watch where you're going," shouted a man in his mid-40s, dressed in business casual. The man was glaring not at Lee, but at Ji-hoon, who had accidentally brushed against the man's child while trying to navigate through the crowd. Ji-hoon, immediately apologetic, bowed slightly and said, "I'm terribly sorry, sir. It was completely unintentional. Are you and your child all right?" The child, a little girl around 6 years old, nodded, seemingly unbothered by the incident. However, the father's anger did not subside. "You people think you can just do whatever you want because you're with a celebrity? Is that it?" The situation quickly attracted the attention of nearby shoppers, some recognizing Lee Min-ho and pulling out their phones, anticipating a scene. Lee, noticing the growing crowd and the escalating tension, stepped forward. His presence, now recognized, caused a hush to fall over the immediate area. "Sir, I understand you're upset, and I apologize on behalf of my friend here. He truly didn't mean to upset you or your daughter," Lee Min-ho said calmly, his voice carrying a gentle authority. The man seemed taken aback by Lee's direct involvement. "Well, you should teach your staff to be more careful," he retorted, his voice still harsh but slightly less aggressive. Lee nodded, his expression composed. "You're right, and we will certainly be more mindful. It's important for all of us to respect each other's space. Perhaps we can offer you and your daughter a small apology? Maybe some ice cream or coffee on us? What do you say, little one?" Lee directed the last question to the girl, who looked up at him with wide, awestruck eyes. The simplicity of the offer, the sincerity in Lee's voice, and perhaps the realization that the incident was indeed minor, seemed to soften the father's demeanor. That would be all right," he finally conceded. As they walked towards the food court, Lee and the man introduced themselves formally, with Lee listening attentively to the man's concerns about crowded places and the pressures of being a single parent. The conversation, which started with a conflict, slowly transformed into a meaningful exchange about the challenges and surprises of life. This entire episode, captured by dozens of onlookers, went viral within hours. The headlines weren't focused on the conflict itself but on Lee Min-ho's graceful handling of the situation. Comments poured in praising his humility and approachability, and how he turned a potential public relations disaster into a heartwarming story. The climax of this story isn't just about how a celebrity diffused a tense situation, but about the power of empathy and understanding. It reminds us that beneath the glitz and glamour, celebrities like Lee Min-ho are also striving to navigate the complex web of human emotions and social responsibilities. As this story spread across social media, it sparked conversations about kindness, the real influence of public figures, and how a simple act of understanding can bridge the gap between strangers. It's a narrative that resonates with anyone who believes in the power of kindness and the impact one individual can have on making the world a little warmer, one small gesture at a time. Reflecting on the incident later, Lee Min-ho shared his thoughts on a social media post that again went viral. He wrote, "Today was a reminder that every interaction we have is a chance to make a positive impact. Let's choose kindness." This message, accompanied by a photo of the crowded mall, resonated deeply with his followers, garnering millions of likes and shares. In the days following the event, Lee Min-ho received numerous messages and letters from fans and strangers alike, expressing admiration not only for his acting skills but for his character off-screen. Teachers used the viral video as an educational tool to discuss the importance of empathy in conflict resolution, showing students that real heroes are those who act with kindness, even under pressure. The man involved in the incident, Mr. Kim, also experienced a change. Initially embarrassed by his own reaction, he reached out to Lee's team to apologize for his earlier behavior. Lee Min-ho invited Mr. Kim and his daughter to a quieter, private meetup where they could talk more comfortably. During this meeting, Mr. Kim shared the struggles of raising a child alone, the pressures of his job, and his constant battle with stress. Lee listened attentively, offering words of encouragement and sharing his own experiences of dealing with public scrutiny and personal challenges. This second meeting was not publicized, but it had a profound effect on Mr. Kim. He began to engage more actively in community forums about single parenting, even starting a blog to assist other single parents in coping with similar challenges. His story, indirectly linked to his encounter with Lee Min-ho, became another beacon of positivity, influencing others in situations like his not to succumb to stress and anger, but to seek understanding and support. Meanwhile, Ji-hoon, Lee Min-ho's assistant, who was at the center of the initial incident, took the experience as a valuable lesson in awareness and the power of a calm response. He conducted workshops for celebrity assistants, sharing effective strategies for managing public interactions and the importance of maintaining composure in tense situations. His efforts improved the standards of how assistants interacted with the public, raising awareness about their challenging roles. As months passed, the story of Lee Min-ho's humble reaction and its ripple effects continued to inspire people. Communities discussed it in various forums, from mental health to customer service to celebrity culture, examining how a single act of kindness could turn a stressful encounter into a catalyst for positive change. Lee Min-ho's career continued to flourish, but many remembered him not just for his roles in blockbuster films or hit TV series, but for his role in a real-life scenario that highlighted his humanity. His action at the mall became a defining moment, often referenced in interviews and talked about in fan meetings. It became clear that Lee's influence was not limited to entertainment but extended into inspiring real-world kindness and empathy. The story of that day at the Starfield COEX Mall serves as a powerful reminder that everyone, regardless of their status or situation, has the potential to transform a moment of conflict into an opportunity for connection and understanding. It underscores the importance of everyday interactions and how, in the rush of busy lives, taking a moment to address a misunderstanding with patience and grace can have far-reaching consequences. It's a narrative that not only resonates with those who admire Lee Min-ho but with anyone who believes in the transformative power of empathy, proving that kindness is indeed a universal language. Reflecting further, Lee Min-ho's handling of the situation at the mall didn't just end with the viral moment or his subsequent interactions. It sparked a wider dialogue about celebrity culture and their real-life impact. People began to see celebrities not just as distant idols but as individuals capable of influencing societal attitudes towards kindness and respect. Educational institutions, seeing the impact of Lee's actions, started incorporating modules on emotional intelligence and conflict resolution into their curriculums. They used the video as a case study to show that it's possible to handle confrontations with grace and respect, regardless of one's status or pressures. In addition, Lee Min-ho's approach influenced other public figures and celebrities. Inspired by his example, many started engaging more openly and positively in their encounters with the public and within their own professional circles. They recognized that their actions could have a significant ripple effect, fostering a culture of understanding and patience across various spheres of influence. Internally, within Lee Min-ho's own team, changes were palpable. His staff felt a renewed sense of pride and responsibility, understanding more deeply how their behaviors and responses could reflect on Lee and influence public perceptions. They became more proactive in community engagement, organizing charity events and public talks about the importance of kindness and the impact of positive public behavior. Moreover, the incident inspired a series of charity events titled Acts of Kindness, spearheaded by Lee Min-ho. These events focused on promoting kindness and understanding in everyday situations, supporting various causes from mental health awareness to support for single parents. The campaign gained international attention, drawing support from global fans and other celebrities, thus amplifying the message of empathy and understanding across borders. Lee Min-ho's personal life was also touched by this incident. He found himself more reflective and committed to using his platform for positive change. He engaged in more direct interactions with his fans, sharing personal stories and lessons learned about the impact of kindness and the importance of personal connections. Social media platforms, which played a critical role in spreading the initial story, started promoting content that highlighted positive celebrity interactions and genuine acts of kindness. This shift contributed to a more positive online environment, encouraging users to share uplifting stories and engage in supportive conversations. The lasting impact of Lee Min-ho's response to a tense situation in a mall showed that every individual holds the power to influence their surroundings positively. It wasn't just about a celebrity and a fan, or a star and a critic, it was about human beings connecting on a fundamental level, bridging misunderstandings with empathy. As years passed, the story of Lee Min-ho at the Starfield COEX Mall remained a powerful example cited in discussions about celebrity influence and the real-world impact of their actions. It served as a reminder that while the world often sees celebrities through the lens of their on-screen personas, their most impactful roles might be played off the screen, in the real stories of everyday life. This incident, therefore, wasn't just a fleeting moment of kindness, it was a testament to the enduring power of empathy and understanding in a world that often prioritizes fame and success over genuine human connections. It showed that in a world quick to judge and slow to forgive, acts of kindness are not just necessary, they are revolutionary. Continuing from the transformative ripples set in motion by that day at the mall, Lee Min-ho's approach to life and his interactions began to redefine what it meant to be a celebrity in the modern world. The narrative of his confrontation and subsequent actions continued to inspire not only fans but also other individuals in positions of influence, encouraging them to act with the same level of integrity and empathy. The influence of this incident stretched beyond individual actions and heartwarming stories. It sparked a broader societal debate about the role of public figures in shaping cultural norms. Media outlets, traditionally focused on sensationalism and controversy, started spotlighting stories of positivity and genuine human connections, reflecting a shift towards more wholesome content that mirrored Lee Min-ho's actions. This change wasn't superficial. Companies and brands started aligning themselves with celebrities who demonstrated real, positive impacts in their communities. Advertising campaigns highlighted acts of kindness rather than just the glamorous lifestyles of the rich and famous. This shift resulted in a more grounded and relatable portrayal of celebrities, making them more accessible and inspirational to the general public. Lee Min-ho's influence also permeated into corporate ethics. Businesses began to reassess how they interacted with the community, realizing the importance of corporate responsibility. They saw how Lee Min-ho's example led to positive brand association and increased public goodwill, and they strived to replicate this model. Corporate social responsibility programs were revamped to not only include donations but also proactive engagements with issues such as mental health, education, and community welfare. The educational sphere continued to evolve as well. Schools and universities globally incorporated lessons about the impact of kindness and the importance of emotional intelligence into their curriculums. Lee Min-ho's incident was studied not as a mere celebrity gossip but as a crucial learning tool for conflict resolution and ethical behavior. This educational initiative helped nurture a generation more adept at handling interpersonal conflicts and more willing to extend empathy. On a personal level, Lee Min-ho found himself more introspective and committed to his path of spreading kindness. He collaborated with psychologists and educators to create workshops and seminars that taught emotional skills to children and adults alike. His foundation, originally focused on artistic scholarships, broadened its scope to include programs for emotional and social development. The annual Lee Min-ho Kindness Award was established, celebrating individuals worldwide who exemplified the spirit of empathy and understanding in their communities. This award brought stories of everyday heroes to the forefront, showing that the spirit of kindness he exhibited that day at the mall was alive and thriving in many others across the globe. As the years passed, the incident at Starfield COEX Mall became a legendary example in popular culture, studied and referred to in various contexts from leadership seminars to psychological forums. Lee Min-ho's legacy was no longer confined to his roles in dramas and movies but was also cemented in his contribution to societal change. In retrospection, the yelling incident in a bustling mall could have ended as a minor footnote in the life of a celebrity. Instead, thanks to Lee Min-ho's thoughtful response, it became a catalyst for a wide-reaching movement that advocated for kindness, understanding, and the power of a calm and compassionate response in the face of aggression. This story, echoing through the corridors of time, serves as an enduring testament to the fact that real influence lies not in the accolades one receives but in the impact one leaves on the world. It reminds us that in the intricate dance of human interactions, empathy and kindness are not signs of weakness but are potent tools for building a more understanding and compassionate society. Thus, the legacy of Lee Min-ho transcends his cinematic achievements, embedding itself into the very fabric of how we treat each other in the fleeting moments of everyday life. Continuing from this inspirational pivot, Lee Min-ho's actions and the resulting movement did not just stay within the boundaries of celebrity influence or public relations. It sparked a deeper introspection among individuals about the real value of public figures in their lives. People began questioning, what should we truly admire in our heroes? Is it their ability to entertain, or their capacity to lead by example and invoke positive change? This shift in perception led to a broader societal impact, influencing how people interacted with each other in public spaces. The story of Lee Min-ho and the mall incident became a case study in universities discussing the sociology of fame and the psychology of behavior in public arenas. It was no longer just about a celebrity acting graciously. It had morphed into a discussion about the social responsibilities of public figures and the expectations placed upon them by society. Meanwhile, Lee Min-ho continued to leverage his influence for good. He launched a podcast series titled Voices of Change, where he invited other celebrities, social activists, and ordinary people who had demonstrated acts of kindness in challenging situations. This platform allowed for deeper conversations about societal issues, mental health, and the importance of community support. The podcast grew popular not only in South Korea but globally, as it provided real-life stories of resilience and compassion that resonated with many. Furthermore, Lee Min-ho's example encouraged his fans and followers to initiate their community projects. Across the globe, fan clubs organized charity drives, community cleanups, and educational workshops, all inspired by Lee's actions. These activities helped solidify a global network of individuals committed to spreading kindness and understanding in their local communities, thus amplifying the impact initiated by one incident in a mall. The entertainment industry also took notice. Directors and producers began to seek stories that had deeper social messages, stories that mirrored the values Lee Min-ho promoted. Films and dramas with themes of reconciliation, understanding, and community service saw a surge in popularity, and actors who were known for their off-screen activism received more prominent roles. The industry began to see itself as a powerful platform for societal education and change, not just entertainment. On the business front, corporations sought endorsements from celebrities who could echo their corporate social responsibility values. Lee Min-ho became a sought-after figure for brands that aligned with his values, and he carefully chose partnerships that could further his message of positive influence. Each endorsement deal was accompanied by a charity component, ensuring that every business collaboration also benefited societal good. At a personal level, Lee Min-ho felt a renewed sense of purpose. The overwhelming support and the tangible changes he witnessed bolstered his commitment to living a life that transcended the trappings of fame. He established the Min-ho Initiative for Public Good, a non-profit organization dedicated to various causes including youth education, mental health, and disaster relief. Each year, the organization's reach and impact grew, backed by a community of supporters inspired by Lee Min-ho's example. As the years unfolded, the day at the mall where Lee Min-ho faced a shouting stranger became more than just a viral moment. It became a turning point, a historical marker that highlighted how a single act of kindness could ignite a global movement. This story, often revisited in motivational talks and leadership seminars, served as a powerful reminder of the influence one individual can have, irrespective of their realm of fame. In conclusion, the legacy of Lee Min-ho's response that day at the mall transcended his roles in television and cinema, reaching into the very essence of daily human interactions. His story continued to inspire, teach, and remind us that while the world may thrust us into moments of unexpected challenge, our responses can create waves of positive change. Through his actions and the subsequent global movement, Lee Min-ho demonstrated that true greatness lies not in the heights one reaches but in the depth of one's impact on humanity. In a world that often seems divided by differences, his legacy offers a beacon of unity through kindness and understanding, proving that empathy can indeed be revolutionary. In the wake of Lee Min-ho's pivotal moment of kindness, his story not only reshaped his own life but also set a precedent for how celebrities and individuals could harness their visibility for greater good. This transformation resonated particularly within the younger generation, who saw in Lee Min-ho not just a film icon, but a role model worthy of emulation. schools and youth organizations started to incorporate discussions about the implications of his actions into their programs. Teachers used Lee Min-ho's example to illustrate lessons on character education, particularly focusing on traits such as empathy, resilience, and the courage to stand up gracefully under pressure. Students engaged in debates and role-plays, exploring scenarios where they could apply similar kindness in their own lives, thus preparing them to handle conflicts with compassion and understanding. As this educational wave grew, so did the public discourse around the role of celebrities in societal issues. Social media platforms were abuzz with discussions about the incident, with many users expressing renewed hope in the influence of public figures. The hashtag #BeLikeLeeMinho trended worldwide, with people sharing stories of how they stood up for others, or chose kindness over conflict, inspired by Lee's example. Meanwhile, Lee Min-ho himself continued to expand his outreach. He became a regular speaker at youth empowerment events, where he shared his philosophy of kindness and the importance of maintaining one's composure in the face of adversity. His speeches, often filled with personal anecdotes and practical advice, were met with enthusiastic responses, further solidifying his role as a spokesperson for positive change. The ripple effects of Lee Min-ho's actions also penetrated the corporate world. Companies began to see the value in promoting not just a product, but a cause, aligning their brands with ambassadors who exemplified noble characteristics and social responsibility. Lee Min-ho partnered with several such brands, working on campaigns that were mutually beneficial. The companies enjoyed the halo effect of his positive image, while the campaigns helped fund charitable causes Lee was passionate about. One such campaign was an initiative to provide mental health resources in schools. Recognizing the stress and pressures faced by young people today, Lee Min-ho used his platform to advocate for better psychological support in educational institutions. The campaign funded school counselors and workshops that equipped students with tools for mental wellness, thus fostering a healthier environment for the next generation. The entertainment industry, too, continued to evolve under the influence of Lee Min-ho's actions. New genres of reality shows and dramas began to focus on real-life heroes and community service, moving away from traditional plots to stories that highlighted altruism and community impact. These shows were well received, indicating a shift in viewer preference towards content that was not only entertaining but also enriching. Lee Min-ho's personal life was also transformed. He found a deeper sense of fulfillment in his work, knowing that each project he undertook had the potential to impact lives positively. His relationships with peers and collaborators grew stronger, as they worked towards common goals of making a difference through their art. As the years turned into a decade since the incident at the mall, the cultural landscape had markedly changed. Lee Min-ho was no longer just a celebrated actor, he was a catalyst for a movement that had inspired countless individuals to act with kindness and responsibility. His foundation continued to grow, supporting diverse causes and expanding its reach to different corners of the globe. Upon reflection, the day Lee Min-ho responded to aggression with calmness and empathy in a crowded mall became more than just a memorable moment, it became a milestone in cultural history. It showed that kindness isn't merely a personal virtue but a powerful force that can transform societies. Lee Min-ho's legacy taught that fame can be a platform for advocacy, that celebrities can be champions of social change, and that every individual has the power to influence the world positively through small, yet significant, acts of kindness. In this way, Lee Min-ho's reaction to a stranger's yell in a mall echoed far beyond that day, becoming a timeless lesson on the impact of grace under pressure and the enduring power of a compassionate response. His story remains a beacon of hope and a call to action, reminding us all that when faced with life's challenges, kindness is not just a choice, but a responsibility we carry towards each other. Continuing from this transformative narrative, Lee Min-ho's journey from a moment of confrontation to a symbol of global kindness underscores a pivotal truth: real influence stems not from one's status, but from one's actions and integrity. As the ripples of his actions continued to spread, governments and policymakers began to take note. They saw in Lee Min-ho's response to adversity a blueprint for crafting campaigns aimed at promoting social harmony and reducing conflict. Cities around the world started initiatives such as kindness zones where acts of kindness were actively encouraged and showcased, directly inspired by Lee's example. In Seoul, the city government launched the Min-ho Kindness Challenge, which encouraged citizens to perform daily acts of kindness. Participants shared their stories online, creating a viral loop of positive behavior that inspired others to join in. The challenge not only improved community relations but also boosted mental health awareness across the city. Internationally, Lee Min-ho was invited to speak at the United Nations, where he discussed the importance of cultural diplomacy and the role of celebrities in fostering global peace and understanding. His speech was met with a standing ovation and led to the formation of a special UN committee focused on leveraging the influence of public figures to address global crises. Back in the entertainment realm, Lee Min-ho continued to push the boundaries of how a celebrity can influence society positively. He starred in a groundbreaking series that tackled issues of inequality and justice, blending entertainment with enlightening discussions on significant issues. The series not only broke viewership records but also sparked nationwide conversations about justice and reform. Lee Min-ho's commitment to using his platform for good also led him to collaborate with other influential figures. Together, they launched a global campaign to address climate change, combining their reach to spread awareness and encourage actionable changes. This campaign resulted in significant fundraising efforts, contributing to reforestation projects and renewable energy initiatives. The personal growth Lee Min-ho experienced through these endeavors was profound. He often reflected on that pivotal moment in the mall, realizing that every second of our lives holds the potential to shape not just our destiny, but also the world around us. He wrote a book titled Moments of Impact, where he shared personal stories and insights on how seemingly small actions can lead to significant societal shifts. The book became an international bestseller, further amplifying his message of positive change. Lee Min-ho's influence also extended to the business world, where his approach to celebrity endorsements transformed traditional marketing. He partnered with companies not just for promotional purposes but also integrated social impact goals into each campaign. This strategy not only enhanced the brand's images but also set a new standard for how businesses could contribute to the common good. As the years passed, the cultural and societal impact of Lee Min-ho's response to the incident in the mall was evident in various forms. Schools worldwide adopted his book as part of their curriculum to teach students about the power of positive actions. His podcasts and speeches became resources for those looking to make a difference in their communities. The legacy of Lee Min-ho's moment in the mall, therefore, transcended his own life. It became a beacon that illuminated the potential within each person to make a difference. His story continued to inspire, teach, and remind us all that the fabric of society is woven with the threads of individual actions, and every act of kindness contributes to a stronger, more compassionate world. In conclusion, Lee Min-ho's viral reaction in a crowded mall on that fateful day did more than resolve a fleeting conflict. It sparked a global movement towards empathy, kindness, and collective responsibility. His life became a testament to the fact that true influence lies in how one chooses to react in the face of challenges, and that every individual holds the power to ignite change, one act of kindness at a time. As we move forward in a world often divided by differences, the legacy of Lee Min-ho offers a clear and hopeful message. Empathy and understanding are not just virtues but essential tools for crafting a more compassionate and unified global community. His story serves as a continuous call to action, reminding us that in every moment of adversity lies an opportunity.